Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Again, this is the Circle of Support event, and tonight's topic is University Honors Program. We are thrilled that you have taken the time to join us tonight because this is a fantastic topic, and we are so glad that you were able to take the time. My name is Julie Spring, and I'm the Director of Student Services and Advising for the Center of Student Success. And one of the benefits to my role is that I get to work with parent programming and make sure that we get all the information out to all of you to be sure that you have all the facts and figures and things that you might need as your students join us and embark on this next adventure. And we are very excited and can't wait for that to happen. We do also want to make a note that we appreciate you so much taking advantage of these programs as we've had to do them virtually. We can't wait for the day that we can all be back in person and presenting these topics, but we appreciate you joining us and taking advantage of these things in the format that we have to do them in currently. So thank you for that. What I want to do is just take one moment and do a little bit of housekeeping. I want to let everyone know that tonight we'll be utilizing the Q&A. So if you look to the bottom of your screens, no matter what kind of device you're on, you should be able to see that Q&A box, and you can click on that. I will be spending the time monitoring that. And as our panelists are taking over and presenting for you this evening, I will either answer you in written word, or I will interrupt them if the moment is okay, and I will ask them to answer the question verbally if I think it's something that the group might benefit from. We also have a few panelists that are joining us that'll take a peek at it here and there, and they might pop in and you might see an answer from them as well. But again, we just want to make sure that you're getting all your questions answered before the evening is done. And we don't want anybody to leave with any questions or concerns. So there will also be some contact information at the end of the presentation as well. If I could ask a couple of you to maybe just pop in a hello in the Q&A to make sure that everyone is seeing us and hearing us. You should be able to see a welcome screen right now that says Circle of Support and lists the panelists' names. So hopefully you are seeing that. I see a bunch of people saying hello, so that is fantastic. At least we know that means you can hear us. I appreciate that. And again, any issues, let us know. So what I'm going to do is, without further ado, I'm going to ask our panelists to jump on screen now, and they can unmute themselves, and I'm going to let each of them introduce themselves. And we're going to begin with Dr. Oakes.
Hello, my name is Claudia Oakes, and I am the new director of the University Honors Program position I am delighted to take on. I have been the coordinator for the College of Education, Nursing, and Health Professions for several years, and I'm moving into this new role overseeing the entire honors program, and it's a great honor. I'm delighted to be here today.
I'll introduce myself next. My name is Matt Glassoff. Welcome, everybody. I actually just graduated the University of Hartford with my undergraduate, with my Bachelor's of Science in Health Science. And I just started a couple weeks ago, the Doctor of Physical Therapy program here. So I'm on campus. It's going great. And I'm here to talk to you about my honors experience as an undergrad and things I've done and been able to accomplish because of that. So welcome, and I'm excited to talk to you guys.
Hi, my name is Cameron Butera. I'm an upcoming senior at the University of Hartford. I'm also an honors student. I'm majoring in biology, and I have a minor in chemistry and psychology, 2 minors. And I'm also going to be talking about my experience in the University Honors Program.
Cameron, I'm just going to ask you to come a little bit closer to your computer because I could hear you before, but I'm having a little bit of a harder time hearing you now.
Okay, is this better?
Yes, I think so. Terrific. All right, well, without further ado, I'll get started. I have a little PowerPoint just to guide me through. I'm happy to take questions as they come up. So what we do is call the honors program 18 credits of excellence. The 18 credits look different in every college, but everybody at the university is required to complete at least 18 credits of honors coursework in order to graduate with honors. And the honors program, in a nutshell, is just a great way to ensure that you get the most out of your academic experience at the university. It's a great way to extend your thinking and make sure that you're taking advantage of opportunities that are there ripe for the taking. In year one, we say that there are immediate benefits from participating in the honors program. Almost every student in the honors program will take general education classes that are honors sections. So those are the writing classes, psychology, communications, some of our university interdisciplinary studies classes. They're gen ed classes that students have to take anyway, but they're honors sections. What an honors section means is that it's a small section taught by some of our top tier faculty, and students are with other students who are like-minded, tend to be serious students, really committed to their coursework, committed to their academics. So these are not like AP classes, which I always like to make sure that people know. They're not necessarily more difficult. They just tend to be classes that people really enjoy being in. I've had many students take far more general education honors classes than they're required because they like the way these classes run. So we call that our immediate benefits. Some students will be living in Hawk Hall on an honors floor, and we call that our residential learning community. Everybody who is in that situation, so people who are living in Hawk Hall, will also take a class called UISC 212D, and it's an honors section, and it's a class called Discovering America. So it's an in-depth interdisciplinary look at the history of America. What it means to be in an RLC class together is that the person who's teaching the class knows that the people who are in the class all live together. So there are going to be a lot of opportunities to collaborate outside of class. And I had a long talk with the professor a few weeks ago about some ways that we can promote growth and promote collaboration outside of class. So I think that's a nice opportunity. Students in Hawk Hall will also participate in seminars related to the honors program and related to professional growth and development. So that's an opportunity there too. One thing that I wanted to talk about a first year experience that is not limited to people in the honors program is that we do have the opportunity to do a study abroad experience in the first year over spring break. So there are 3 different programs, one to London, one to Grenada, and one to San Jose, Costa Rica. Students will need to apply to those programs. It will take place over spring break. There is an additional cost associated with this, but there are scholarships available. And we cannot promote this enough because dipping your toe into a study abroad experience in the first year is really a great way to get students to think about whether they might want to do a more in-depth study abroad later on. And I have this in my talk because I want people to know that you can do study abroad while you're in the honors program. It is completely attainable. If you think about it, 18 credits, you can do the work for honors in 3 years. So that gives you a year where you can not be doing honors related stuff if you want to do something like an internship or study abroad. So just a quick breakaway from the honors program to talk about that. In the second and third year of the honors program, again, the requirements are different depending on what your major is, but students do a range of things. Some people do honors contracts in which they do something that is above and beyond what everybody else in the class is doing in conjunction with the professor. So you talk about it, the professor says, that's a great idea, what about this? And you come to an agreement, and then by the end of the semester, if you have done the work that you said you were going to do, you'll receive honors credit for the class. And if the work didn't get done, as sometimes happens, if the semester just ended up being busier, more demanding than the student thought it was going to be, they just get the grade that they earned in the class. There's no penalty. And then students have the opportunity to do another honors contract in a different class. So we do like to stress that flexibility of the honors program. As I always say to students about when I'm talking about the honors program, it should never be the thing that pushes you over the edge of stress. It's there for the challenge if you want it, but if it's too much, you can let it go. And I think that flexibility is good. Some students have the option of taking Honors 300 seminars. And those are on a huge range of topics. We've got one coming up next year on housing inequality in the city of Hartford. That is just going to be fantastic. I've been having a lot of conversations with the professor who's developing that class, and that's going to be great. But there have been classes about ethics and the rhetoric of uncertainty, and there's one on performance and projection. It's a range of topics that are available. And then, as I said earlier, students do have the option to do study abroad or internships while in the honors program. Matt and Cameron, do you want to talk a little bit about some honors contracts that you did or an honors seminar that you took? You want to give some examples of what these things look like? Matt, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, of course. So, and just to reiterate, especially in years 2 and 3 of the honors program, you can take any course that you want and turn it into an honors in conjunction with the professor. So the honors program is extremely flexible, and you can kind of gear it towards your scheduling. If you have a semester that might be more demanding, you don't necessarily have to do an honors contract. If you have a lighter semester, you can make it so you do maybe 2 honors contracts in 2 different classes. So super flexible. I think that's like one of the best things about the program. But some of my honors contract experiences, every professor is kind of different. You can go to them with an idea. So I know in some people I've seen do like an extra presentation, a little research project, and then a presentation to the class at the end. I know I turned one of my physics classes, and my professor had me make like quiz questions and test questions for him to use in the future based off what the content we were learning was. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something that is like a presentation to the class. It could just be an extra paper. So I did the quiz questions and test questions for his future classes, which is really cool. I did a presentation in one of my sociology classes. And then I think in my holistic health class, I wrote an extra research paper on a topic that we learned. So again, it's just going a little deeper into the content that you learned in the class, and you get the most. And you also build relationships through these contracts, very close relationships with the professor that you have that people who aren't an honors student in that class may not be able to experience. So yeah, that's my little
Terrific.
tidbit.
Thanks. Cameron?
Yeah, I have to agree with what Matt has said. I've made quite a few of my classes into honors classes through those honors contracts. And usually I've done it because I really enjoy the class, and it kind of gives me an opportunity to kind of show my learning throughout the whole class in one presentation or project. Usually I really like to write, so I usually choose papers. So it gives me a chance to kind of really write about the class, write about an experience, and learn about the topics that we've discussed in class and showcase that in a paper. So I feel like these honors classes, even when you don't take that specific honors class, you're still able to have that honors experience of pushing yourself and really learning the topics that the classes discuss through these contracts and these classes.
I would also like to add real quick that like if you want to make a class an honors class, but you may not know what you want to do to make an honors, the professors here love when an honors student comes to them with a contract, and they will sit down with you and help you figure out what's the best thing for you to do to make it honors. So and in the first year, those honors classes are smaller, but the general classes here at the University of Hartford are not very big. So almost every professor, no matter honors course or not, is super approachable and loves to sit down to students going the extra mile.
Yeah, that is true. And I think one of the things you said that I really appreciate is that those contracts are nice opportunities to get to know the faculty better. And it's just a great gift of the university that it's a small enough place so that you have those chances. And the faculty are always happy to get to know the students better too. It's a win on both sides. All right. In year 4, we talk about the transformational results. In the senior year, students do a senior honors project or thesis, again, depending on what college they're in. But this is work that's done under the supervision of a faculty member, and it's either a semester or a full year, again, depending on what college you're in. But it's a deep dive into something. I can't stress enough, the great thing about the Senior Honors Project is that it is something that the student loves. It is not a faculty member saying, here's the project that you're going to do, like it or not, good luck, I'll see you in May. There's a process of developing an idea, working with a faculty member to figure out what it's going to look like, what the timeline is, what the goals and objectives are. And so it's a lot of work, to be sure. No one's going to say that the senior year isn't a hard year in the honors program, but because it's projects that people are passionate about, it's good extra work. And I'll let these two talk about their projects, but I just want to talk quickly about the undergraduate colloquium, which is a fabulous day that happens every April, where students from across the university get to talk about the projects that they've done. This is not just for seniors. Cameron presented last year as a junior. The vast majority of people who presented the colloquium are seniors talking about their senior honors projects, and is somebody who's been sitting in the audience of these. It's really impressive work. And it is such a great opportunity to do this sort of presentation as an undergrad, because this is common once you get into graduate school and beyond, but it's a really nice opportunity for an undergrad. There's also an honors conference that we take students to every year. And this picture is a couple of years old, but I love it. And it's of, well, much like the two we have here. It's someone from ENHP and someone from ANS, and they were at a conference in Pittsburgh, and it was transformative. So they were presenting the results of their, presenting their projects, and getting to hear projects from people all over the country, and getting to do the things you do when you go to a conference. So, there's a lot of networking, there's a lot of, meeting interesting people, and it's a really exciting opportunity. So we're really happy to be able to have those opportunities for students too. So, all right, Matt has just completed his senior honors project, and Cameron's on the cusp of it. So I'll let Matt go first, and you can talk a little bit about what you did and how you managed it with everything else that you have too, because I know you were busy.
Matt, if I can just interrupt you for 1 second, I apologize.
No
When
problem.
you two are done, can I just have you guys answer 2 questions for us as well?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. So a lot of people see this 4th year research project and they get a little scared, right? And the way I like to divvy up this whole honors program is your first 3 years, you're doing extra work, but you're working on yourself as a student, and you're developing yourself as a top elite student in the honors program here. And then the apex of this program is this 4th year honors senior project. And talk about the benefits that you get, and I'll touch upon a little of the benefits that I've received through going through my project. But like Dr. Oak said, the really cool thing is it's something you get to choose, a topic that you get to choose. I know I came in here as a freshman, and I was involved with research during my freshman and junior year. And they were research projects that I was working on for experience as a researcher, but they weren't topics I was passionate about. So when I had the opportunity in my 4th year to choose something I wanted to work on, it was really cool. And so what happens is, you set on a topic, or you go to a professor that helps you get to a topic you want to work on. And then you approach a professor that you may know, and you ask them, and you talk about it with them, and you ask them if they would be your advisor for this project. And so what I did for mine, so I am like a huge sports junkie. I played baseball and basketball in high school. I'm a huge Philadelphia sports fan in general. So I wanted to do something with sports. And so I went to Dr. Prokop, who was a professor of physical therapy here, and we developed this original from the bottom up research project evaluating baseball players. So baseball hitters, what we did is we looked at the hip and trunk rotation. So how much their hips, basically the amount of mobility of their hips and their trunk segments of their body. And we wanted to see if there's any correlation between the mobility in those segments and the exit velocity, so how hard they hit or how fast they hit the ball off the bat, and launch angle, which is the launch angle they hit the ball off the bat. And Dr. Oaks knows I could talk about my project forever. It's something I'm super passionate about. But I went to Dr. Prokop, and we worked through the pandemic, so it doesn't matter what's going on. We got it done. And talk about like a super intimate kind of relationship with a professor working one-on-one on this research project. And this research project got me so far, I was able to get certified on the dime of the university to do this screening, this like mobility screening. And so I got that certification, and then we partnered up with our Division One baseball team here at the University of Hartford, and we tested those players. So we used our resources on campus, which is the baseball team, to test their hip and trunk mobility. And then we took measurements on how fast they're hitting the ball and the angle they're hitting the ball using some really cool technology that the baseball team had. And then we went through our data analysis and we looked at our research, and we just finished our data on that actually. We're still going through with that. My professor that I work with, Dr. Prokop, has turned into such a mentor for me. She's literally like, I want to be Dr. Prokop when I grow up. I told her that. And, even though our project, because we got delayed through COVID, kind of extended past graduation, Dr. Prokop has stayed on with me and finishing this up. We are currently writing a manuscript to publish in a student academic journal, which would be really cool. So anytime that you have the ability to publish something out there for future research gets me excited. And that's one of the main reasons why I did this. So we're working on that. We're finishing that up. And then this week, I'm actually finishing an application to present at a conference, and hopefully we get accepted. I think we will, at the Combined Sectional Meeting, which is like one of the biggest physical therapy conferences in the country. This February, it's going to be in San Antonio. So my project started a little project that I started developing in a little office with my professor, and it's taken me, to a publishing it, and then hopefully to San Antonio. I've gotten a certification out of this, and I've learned to just be a researcher and what it takes to go through that process. It's super intense, but because I'm like super interested in baseball and I would love to work with athletes, it was a great tool. Now, granted, those of you that know, like the physical therapy program here is direct entry, so I was able to just go through to the doctorate program. But a lot of people who do these projects, they may not be continuing on here at the University of Hartford for grad school, or they might need to apply anywhere else. And so this is an amazing resume builder. Like, to be able to leave undergrad with two research articles to my name is something I'm really proud about, and something that I don't think a lot of undergrads get to do. So it's going to help me down the road. It's already helped me gain a lot of experience as a researcher, and in the topic of sports medicine that I really want to go into. So I'm going to cut it there. If you have any questions, obviously throw them in the chat. I would love to talk about it. And I'm going to throw it over to Cameron on her experience.
Great, thanks.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm about to enter into my senior year. I'm about to start this thesis project that I have been working on. So I have been doing research with a professor since the beginning of my sophomore year. And that was something I decided to do because research has always really interested me. And so I do research on a ketogenic diet and kind of the effects of that. And throughout these past 2 years, that has really been something that has interested me more, and the effects of this on neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's disease, and kind of how those two things correlate and work together. So that's the research that I've been doing and I plan to do on my thesis. And I have already kind of reaped a lot of the benefits of this project, even without doing the project, because these past 2 years I have had this relationship with this professor, and she has introduced me to other professors, and I have been able to now form relationships with people throughout the University of Hartford that I've really never even had classes with, but just seen in the hallways and had conversations with about their research and all of the different aspects of the university, really without even doing my whole project yet. And so I'm really excited to kind of get started and really get into it. I'm already doing the paperwork to start the classes and get into all of that for next year. But having that professor, that advisor, they really help guide you through the process. So you're not alone. It's not, I really don't feel overwhelmed or anything, because you're prepared for this year through these 3 years of taking the honors courses and taking these little bit more rigorous classes, so that this year you have this relationship with your advisor to kind of guide you through this process that you have been prepared for. So it's really been an absolutely amazing experience, and I really wouldn't trade it. I highly recommend it to you if you are interested in it.
I would like to, are you done, Cameron? I would like to add a couple of things. One thing, two things I missed on. Number one, Cameron and I are both extremely active on campus. We're in a million clubs. We're leaders, student leaders on campus. And so we're pretty busy. I've coached youth basketball team off campus, and so on and so forth. And we've been able to accomplish the honors and gain everything from the honors program. So if this seems like a lot, you'll make it work. It's super adaptive, and if you want it bad enough, like, you'll be a part of it and you'll figure it out. No doubt in my mind. I feel like if we can do it, just about anybody can do it. And the coolest thing about working with the professor that I kind of missed on is, so I come in as a student, I'm learning as I'm going. I know almost nothing. I know I like sports, right? And I'm working with it, but I'm learning as I'm doing literature research and whatnot. And then I bring it together with my professor, who has 20 years of clinical experience and teaching experience. And the coolest thing about it is that, like, we were learning together, and she was synthesizing her experience and her information with what I'm finding, and I'm really excited about it. And I think a lot of times, like, when you think about a professor, you think that you go to a class and you learn from the professor, but this is an opportunity that you and your professor can learn together. And, like, I don't know, I get such a warm feeling when I think about it, when it was so much fun and, like, so cool to kind of, like, sit back and realize, like, yeah, you're in this together, like Cameron said. And it's just, a really cool experience. So I just wanted to touch on that, because I've always thought that was a really cool thing about it.
Yeah, it's the senior project is always about doing new things and taking things in new directions. So there's lots of learning going on. All right, you guys are great. You are making my job very easy, so thank you.
Can I jump in for a quick second?
Sure.
Thank you. We have 4 questions now that I feel would be better addressed by you all. So I'm going to hit you with them one at a time. One is actually about what we were just speaking of. The question is, if the senior project has to be related to your major, or can it be on a topic of choice if green lighted by the professor?
Yeah, I'll go with B. It's probably going to in some way be related to your major, but your professor is going to be instrumental in helping you shape your project in a way that makes sense. So people have done things that at face value might not look so obvious. Like, it's easy to see, a PT major doing a study of athletes, but other things may not look so direct, but under the watchful eye of a skilled professor, they can help things come together.
Excellent, thank you. This next one, I'm not sure if you have the answer tonight, and we may have to get an email and get back to them. The question was if we know the percentage of female first-year students who are in the honors program for fall.
Do not know that off the top.
Okay, I didn't think we did yet. So that individual, if you want to write back into the Q&A and give me your email, I'm happy to get that information and follow up, because we can run those numbers. I just don't have them off the top of my head, and I didn't know if you had them or not. So excellent. A few more, I apologize, but they're great questions. So I want to make sure we get all the answers. The next one is, how do honors contracts apply to course credits? And I believe the answer is that you're still taking the courses you need, you're just making an honors contract, but I want to make sure you explain it properly.
That's exactly right. It's a class that you already needed to take. You're getting the credits for the class. The number of credits doesn't change. So if it's a 3-credit class, it remains a 3-credit class. It's all about whether it is on your transcript as an honors class. So if you complete the terms of the contract, then it just will say honors next to the course title, but the number of credits does not change.
And
Excellent.
I can give a quick example. Like a couple semesters ago, within my major, I had to take physics. It's a required course with my major. And I decided to turn that class an honors course. We signed an honors contract with that professor. I did a little, extra project. I received my credits for physics, and I received my honors courses within that class. So just to kind of apply it.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. I thought I had the answer correct on that one, but again, since I have the experts here, I figured I better let you answer that. Next question, I believe the answer is no, but again, I would like Dr. Oakes to answer it. Do honors courses provide any different scale in the GPA?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so, but I wanted to make sure again that I wasn't confused on that. Excellent. I just got the email for the female question, so we'll take care of that down the road. And one more, what types of classes, and again, I'm not sure if you know this off the top of your head, what types of classes would an art major have for honors as a first-year student?
And in the first year, the answer is general education classes. So writing classes, communications classes, the university interdisciplinary classes that everybody has to take. So not art classes in the first year.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much. You can carry on. We've gotten through all those questions for right now.
And I want to add something here. So every one of the colleges at the university has an honors coordinator. And that's the person who really answers the nitty-gritty questions about, what is it like to be a business major, and what does the senior project look like as a business major, and how does that fit in versus, the art or the dance or the theater. And the beauty of the honors program is that it works for everyone. So I do have two science-y people talking about science-y projects, but please, everyone in the audience know the honors program is an equally wonderful program for people who are not in science majors. And the caliber of work is so high, the depth and the breadth, and they do beautiful projects that make sense for their major. So please don't think that this is just for science majors. All right?
Yeah,
All right.
I can give a quick example. I was in the Dorothy Goodwin Scholars program, and there were students from all over campus, all around campus. There was a girl who did a project with a local artist and created a book with that artist and published that book and wrote and talked all about that experience and with the art of this artist, the local artist in Hartford. So there's a wide variety of ways that you can use. You can create a project that fits your liking.
Yeah, and just a word about the Dorothy Goodwin Scholars Program. That's an internal funding source. So when students have a project that requires some funding, there are ways they can apply to receive funding to support their work as an undergrad, which is also a great opportunity. So thank you for reminding me of that. All right. One of the questions that people often ask is like, why should I do the honors program? Why would I, I'm in a hard major, why would I do extra work? But I think some of the things that are nice is that, and I think the students have done a really nice job explaining this, there are opportunities to network and to receive mentoring, to meet with upper level students, to meet with alumni, and that really helps you grow as a person. I will say just today I met with someone from the alumni office to talk about getting contact information from alumni over the last 20 years who have graduated with honors, because we're going to be doing some panels for people in the honors program, because we want people to talk about what their professional journey has been like. So, there are opportunities to see things and do things that you might not get if you weren't in the honors program. And I love this picture, even though it doesn't have any people in it, but that's our campus, and it's got a lot of diversity in it. I mean, we have our science, we have the arts, we have the engineering, the business. There are so many opportunities to collaborate, to learn from people, to grow from people. And one of the things about the honors program, I think, is that it's a little bit of a thread tying all the different parts of the university together. And to me, that's a real advantage too. All right. An event that we have every year, sorry, Matt, except in COVID, is the senior honors lunch. So this was from the last pre-COVID honors lunch, when all the people who are graduating with honors have a luncheon. It's the day before commencement. The president is there, advisors are there, deans are there, and it's when everybody gets their cords that they wear at graduation. And it's just a wonderful celebration of, you know, a lot of years of hard work. So everybody has that to look forward to. And again, the students have said this, so I don't need to go over this again, but there are opportunities to get to know people on campus and to develop relationships that are, you know, can be transformative and life-changing and really help you to get the most out of your college experience. And just a couple of examples, people from the honors program go on and do great things. So many people go right into industry, many people go on to graduate school, and I had to put you on there, Matt, as our most recent honors grad in the PT program. So we really feel like the honors program helps to set people up for their next steps. All right, that is my last official slide. There's my email address. If anyone has questions afterward, please feel free to send me an email and I'll be happy to answer it. But we have time now if there are other questions.
So we just got one more, sorry, Matt, didn't mean to cut you off. We just got one more that popped in, and it seems like a really great one for me to answer for everyone. They were asking if a student has to be in the honors program from first semester or can they join later? So go right ahead.
Yeah, fantastic question. And the answer is no, you don't need to be in it from the beginning. So some people at the university were not admitted into the honors program, and if they earn a 3.0 or above in their first semester, then they are honors eligible and can declare their interest in the honors program at that point. The other thing is there are some people in the crowd who probably were admitted into the honors program and are having doubts about taking an honors class that first semester. And while I will encourage everyone to take an honors class who is eligible to take an honors class, and I'm going to have my backup crew support that. But if a student opts not to, it is actually not a problem, because again, the 18 credits can be completed in 3 years. So you actually don't need to do anything the whole first year. But I don't want the takeaway to be, I'm going to wait. First, I just want to try college and then I'll decide about honors. If you're eligible to take the honors writing class, which is most people's first dipping their toe into the honors program, do it. It is a great class. It's a great experience. And it is, again, I just need to stress, it's not like an AP class. Matt, Cameron, did either of you take WRT 110 in your first semester?
Yeah, I did not. I took a college writing class, so I didn't have to take that class. But I was just going to say that even when if you choose to take this first honors class, I took a different honors class my first semester. I think it was honors aspects of art. So the student who asked about the art class, you can take an honors art class. It wasn't actually art, but it was about art. And that doesn't mean that you have to go all the way through the 4 years as an honors student. You can take some students. I know friends who are not declared honors students, but they take honors classes because they enjoy the classes. And they're like, I don't really want to do all the work of being an honors student, but I really like the classes. So I still take them and I enjoy the program, even if I'm not doing a thesis at the end of it.
I think that's really important to highlight. In that, and people always come to me and like, oh, should I start with honors? And I tell them two things. First of all, if you start it and you don't want to continue, there's no harm done. But if you start and you like it, then you start right away and you won't have to make up those honors credits later down the road. But I also think, and my kind of mindset going into this was, school's expensive, right? So, I mean, anything like my mindset was, because I'm paying all this money, why not milk it for everything I can get out of it, right? And there's no better way to do that than with the honors program. And honestly, like if you are admitted as an honors student, you'll be able to handle the honors first year course. Like I almost guarantee it. Obviously, people adjust differently to college, and that's fine. But I definitely don't be afraid. Jump right into it, and if it's too much, then you push it to the side. No, you don't lose anything.
Yeah. And my other piece of advice for everybody, for every parent, for any student who's listening is, while these two are so excited about their senior projects and I share their enthusiasm, do not worry about that right now. That is a long way away. And you don't need to be concerned. You don't need a topic now. You don't need to be thinking about what it is, whether you can handle it, who will your faculty mentor be. These are things that happen organically over time. And again, it's the beauty of being at a small school. You know, there aren't thousands of faculty members who are strangers to you. You know, we're here, we're teaching the classes that you're taking. You have the opportunity to develop these relationships. So this is very much a one step at a time process.
And going off Dr. Oaks, the idea of being in a small school, if research or a project is something you're interested in getting involved with early, but maybe you don't want to go through with the honors for the 4 years, there are a ton of undergraduate research opportunities aside from being an honors student. And I'm actually working with a video for the school to highlight those opportunities, and that's something that's really not a lot of schools offer. Such undergraduate research opportunities. Like I said, in my undergrad studies, I've been able to be part of 3 different research projects, and so that's something just to keep in mind. You know, while you can get the most benefit as being an honor student, there are other ways to get a lot out of the education here. So I just wanted to put that out there.
That's right. Yeah, and it's all good. And there's not one path that's the best path for everybody in college. Everybody needs to do the thing that works the best for them. And your advisors are going to help you with that. And again, no one's ever going to pressure students to take on more than they can handle. So we really, we challenge and we support. It's just the nature of people at the university. All right, Julie, are there other questions?
There are. I was just going to say, may I throw a few more at you?
You may.
Let me see. Okay, I was like, wait, I had them in the order I wanted to do them. The first one is, what is the time frame at which you have to determine that you're making a course honors? And I believe they mean honors contract.
Yep, it's in the first 4 weeks of the semester. The contracts are due on the Friday of the 4th full week.
Perfect. This is a very quick one, and I apologize because when you've been at the university for 18 years, like I have, you forget that we have so many acronyms at the University of Hartford that people are like, what are you saying?
Sorry.
I apologize. Everyone that I wrote UIS to, that means University Interdisciplinary Studies. There are 4 categories at the University of Hartford. Everybody who comes through takes a course from each of those categories. So there's a history category, there's an arts category, there's an ethics category.
Technology.
Thank you, technology. So UIS is the term we use to stand for University Interdisciplinary Studies. And it's basically a liberal arts course that is going to be throughout your 4 years, you will take those courses.
And because I've been here a long time, I can just give you a fun fact, but one of the very first UIS classes was Epidemics and AIDS. And that class has actually won national awards because it isn't a science class. It's a class that looks at epidemics from a social standpoint, from a cost standpoint, from a cultural standpoint, you know, and a health standpoint, but it gives students different perspectives on on epidemics, and how timely is that now? So anybody who had taken that class before 2020 knew a little bit about what was happening.
This one is an interesting question. The question is there a schedule conflict with musical theater majors in the honors program and or study abroad? Have you seen that as any issue?
That is one that I am not going to guess it an answer, because I don't want to misspeak. I am not an expert on the requirements of that program. That is probably a program where it's harder to study abroad. I know that is a program with a lot of requirements every semester. They can absolutely do the honors program, and they do. Each and every year we have many grads from that program, but whether they can fit a study abroad and a traditional study abroad, I don't know. But again, we typically have spring break study abroad that are in winter term study abroads that are opportunities. But if you put your name in the chat box, I'll check with Professor Haston, who's the coordinator for that program.
I'm also going to give them Megan Abernathy's contact information, is the first year advisor for HART, and she'd be happy to look into it too.
Okay.
Okay, there was one more. Will there be times and or meetings set up to get started in the honors program for your college and or with the coordinator?
Yes, September 27th. That is already on the calendar. So there's a reception for all first year honors students, and the president comes. It's on his calendar already. And we do an overview of the honors program, and then we do breakout groups by college. So every group of students goes with their honors coordinators, and we usually have a few students from every program to answer questions too. And then the honors coordinators, once you so an important point to know is that there are people who are honors eligible, but to actually be an active participant in the honors program, you do need to complete a declaration form. And again, it is not a commitment, it's not a contract. If you end up not finishing with honors, that's fine. But it's a way for us to track you and, to be able to send you emails and say, are you up to date on your honors requirements? And, it's a way for us to know who's in the program so that we can be in touch with you along the line. And you'll hear lots more about how to complete that contract and submit it in September. Anything else, Julie?
Okay, give me 1 second to hit send on this one. And I think we have that contact information for HART that I will pass on to you. So you have that. It looks like we have addressed all of the questions. I do want to thank everybody who was attending, because they were firing off those questions as fast as you are all speaking. So I was trying to make sure I was answering and paying attention to what was going on. So it was wonderful. If we want to wait just one more minute, give you guys one more chance if there's any last minute questions. But I think you have covered so much of what needed to be addressed this evening. Thank you to the panelists as well.
Oh, thank you, Matt and Cameron, who you bring it to life. I can talk about it in the abstract, but it's really good to hear the experience of people who have actually done it. So thank you so much, and thank you for your enthusiasm.
Okay, it looks like we might be all set. So like I said, I gave it one more minute, and we've stayed where we were. So your contact information, Dr. Oakes, is up on the screen right now if people have any questions. An easy one to remember as well, you can reach out to the Center for Student Success at css@hartford.edu. I am more than happy to take that information and pass it along to Dr. Oakes or answer what we can. The couple of you, thank you. We're getting some thank you shout outs, everyone. So thank you to the panelists. To everyone that passed on email addresses to me, I have already shot off one question to get that information about some numbers. And for Deb, I will send that over to Dr. Oakes momentarily. So you have that regarding the HART question, so we can follow up with everyone. So I think we have done what we can for right now. Everyone mark those calendars. What was it, September 27th?
Yes.
Absolutely.
12:45.
Mark those calendars and be ready to come and learn more. And I think, thank you to all of our attendees. We know time is precious, so we love that you took the time to come join us tonight. And panelists, thank you so much, because I know this is summertime, so it is a stretch for us to have you guys be here. And I love that you're willing to do it. So thank you, thank you. Any last thoughts? If not, I think we're set.
Nope, this was great. Thanks for all the questions. It definitely makes an event like this more fun, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great night. We wish you well, and don't forget to join us on the rest of these Circle of Support events. If you hop on our website, it shows you the listing of all of them. The next one will be next Tuesday, and that is our accessibility services. So join us. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.